Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, of course, we're going to be talking about the report that my colleague Michael Scotto at HoopsHype.com put out, and that is discussing the report regarding RJ Barrett potentially being a trade asset for the Toronto Raptors after them acquiring Brandon Ingram. Now, to me, before we get into it, links in the description if you guys want to go check out our work and my colleagues' work at hoopshype.com. Like and subscribe for more content like this. No highlights today, just because this is going to be a little quick hitter for us today. Also, I don't know why my face is like slightly disappearing into the sun right here, but let's fix that. So the report goes a little something like this. As we head towards the final month and a half of the NBA regular season, the teams that may be already looking outside in could be ones that might be envisioning a type of acquisition. Sorry, I got a message that popped up on my screen. With the Toronto Raptors already envisioning, I personally thought they were going to keep RJ Barrett this whole time. Everybody forgets about the Toronto Raptors' fascination with Vision 6-9. And what if this is full circle? Now, let's just lay it all out. I understand salaries, all those beautiful things that have to be accounted for need to be mentioned. So, my colleague wrote, with the Toronto Raptors envisioning a front court of Scottie Barnes and Brandon Ingram, I really guess that's not really a front court, but a forward duo, while Grady Dick's the shooting guard and Emmanuel Quickley is the point guard. And then you have RJ Barrett, who might be the odd man out, as Jakob Poeltl is the center for the foreseeable future. Based on conversations before the deadline, Barrett could be a trade candidate to monitor this summer. When we talked about the Brandon Ingram trade, a lot of people thought it was going to be for RJ Barrett just because it made sense. I assumed it was Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk or some combination of that, or Chris Boucher. It ended up being Olynyk and Brown because of the salaries due to the Pelicans more than likely wanting the expiring deals and to have a backup center who is going to be able to be a cost-efficient player alongside Yves Messi, who's clearly the center for the foreseeable future for this franchise. Now, Trey Murphy and Herb Jones already on the wing. They didn't view Barrett as a suitable fit for that roster. To me, I think the biggest thing is looking at what they could do or what could be. What could be if they keep him. A starting lineup of Emmanuel Quickley, Grady Dick, Brandon Ingram, Scottie Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl is fun. But what if Emmanuel Quickley is the sixth man? You have Scottie Barnes at point guard, Grady Dick at shooting guard, RJ Barrett at small forward, and power forward you have Brandon Ingram or vice versa, and then Poeltl at center. Barrett's averaging, he's a Toronto native, by the way, a career high in points, almost 22, 6.5 rebounds, and almost 6 assists. He's due $27.7 million next season and 29.6 the following year in 26 to 27. So I understand room for concern when you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, not really maybe worth it to pay him. But if I'm a guy, I also love how my face just still, it's like, and it's definitely coming from the outside, I think, which is wild. So I don't know how we're going to fix that. It's really annoying me. So if we just look at the salaries on a whole for a team like the Raptors, I think that's really where anybody who's looking at this and understands simple economics when it comes to luxury tax and payments in the NBA, the Raptors are probably not incentivized at all unless they feel like they have a championship team to go ahead and pay more than they have to. Because going into next year, they already have $38 million to Barnes, $38 to Brandon Ingram, $32.5 to Quickley, RJ $27.7, Poeltl $19.5. I think Ochai Abaji's been a good fit. Grady Dick are two guys that I think they like. Then it's Jamal Shed and Jacoby Walter, Jonathan Magbo, Jameson Battle, and then Ulrich Chamachi. So to me, RJ Barrett, you would assume. I think they would like to move off of Pirtle. If they really want to go with this versatile positionless team, probably Pirtle, maybe even Quickly, or two guys. I think Quickly was kind of overpaid. I love Emmanuel Quickly. We grew up 10 minutes away from each other. And I really do think he's a great player. Just Scottie Barnes could be your point guard. And if you traded Pirtle for a backup big who's cheaper, for example, Darko Rajakovic comes from, I know they already have Zach Edey, but the idea is like a Brandon Clark type guy. I think they would love Santi Alama, but he's more of a power forward. I just think there's a lot of things they could do here. So this is one that I think is interesting, and I think it's telling that somebody's going to be traded in Toronto, and it might not just be Mr. RJ Barrett. It could be somebody that we might not even think was going to get traded, you know? As the NBA has been rather interesting this year when it comes to player movement. It seems almost like unpredictable, as this is one of the more, I would say, surprising years, and it's a result of the tax aprons. I think anybody here would have said that they would not have thought this year's deadline would have been active. We all thought the deadline was dead and that teams were just going to hold begrudgingly. You know what's crazy is I'm trying to see if there's a picture of Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton on the floor together, but there isn't, okay? There is no picture of Marcus Smart and Chris Middleton on the floor together as teammates of the freaking Wizards. Isn't that crazy? You would think at least one, they would be on the floor at least one time, but nada. So that just surprised me. Either way, if you guys did enjoy this, let me hear your thoughts down below. If there was anything else you guys would have liked to have heard me say. A little bit of a ramble right here. I found this one rather interesting, definitely just as a result of it's kind of odd, right? I'm not the only one who thinks the roster construction. I either think you got to lean into it like unintentionally funny, or just throw it out the window.